all right. It is 6:29 on a minute early. Look at that. It is September 15th, which is my dad's birthday. He turned 78 today. Happy birthday, Papa. Thanks for doing all that you do. You've left a nice legacy behind that's going to carry your name, and hopefully we're making you proud. Hope you better be tuning in today. I'll give you a shout out. My name is Scott Riley, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. This is the 630 Club, where I try and give some levels of the market. I try and give you some things that I'm watching, some clues to the day, a few different approaches, from the active approach, the intermediate approach, the macro approach, and I sit here every day, listen to some music, mark up about 40 charts. I give it to my crew on the Alpha team, my dogs in Red All Access, and to all of you in the dog pound. This is Peter Stroy. Let me say hello to some of my friends. What up, looking up? Always look up, never look down, always look in front of you, not behind you. I like that one. Yeah, he's a young grandma. What's up, teaching jaw? Well, 78, you know, he's earned some stripes. Let me give you the chart of the spies while I'm talking to some of you guys. 6:30 Club comes early here. Oh my goodness, that is early, Joey Maz. 3 hours. That's why I can't move to the West Coast. I would never sleep. It wouldn't work for me. I'm probably better off moving to Eastern Europe and, you know, doing it the other way, 6 hours ahead. What up, Delray Beach? What up, Hungary? We got Sydney in the house. That's cool. We got Nisa. We got Itz. Happy birthday, Papa Red Dog. Thank you, Barry. I actually put his Twitter on there. You can see he's a Vietnam vet. He was born in Siberia. He's got 5 grandkids, and he's done it all right. Came to the United States when he was 3 with 50 cents. Actually, he had nothing in his pocket. It was my grandpa Carl that had 50 cents in his pocket, and they all worked their tush off to make sure that we could all have a better life generation by generation, which is what you always want, right? But how do you do that? With discipline. You do that with respect. You lead by example, and you don't look for handouts. You know, it's okay to have to get some help in life, but you know what? Don't wish, work. I heard that today on one of my videos today. Don't wish for what you want, work for it. Anyway, let's see who else we got here. We got Highlander. What up, Corey? How you doing? Who else we got? Who else we got? We got San Antonio in the house. We got Nova Scotia in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. It's been an interesting week, right? Let's see what the future's doing this morning. The futures are flattish, as we're definitely in like an interesting spot. So let me bring the music down. You know, you had a very hot CPI, right? And then you had an inline PPI, basically showing that you know, inflation is embedded in the system now. First, oh, it's transitory. Now it's embedded. So the Fed has to do a lot to make sure they can bring down prices, and they're probably going to have to keep going for longer than we would want. You know, high growth has been in a bear market for 18 months. All those Cathie Wood names. You know, the S&P's been in a bear market for 9 months, and it could wear you out, guys. I know. Listen, you know, there's money to be made. This sequence is to navigate. You can make money long. You can make money short. You know, and usually in bear markets, if you could withstand it, that's where fortunes are made. That's where average prices are accumulated in intermediate and long-term accounts, and that's when the strong survive. People who can't approach the market with a plan or a process, they lose their They lose their discipline, and they get frustrated, and they do things they wouldn't do, and they lose more than they're supposed to, and then they stop looking at the market. Not us here. We're going to enjoy ourselves every single day, listen to music, and have a proper plan. And ride out every storm, because after every storm, usually things turn up. And yes, the bull market does win over time, so make sure you stay the course. So anyway, right now, if you look at the SPYs, they're flattish. It is Thursday, not much news overnight. You know, China's still trying to stimulate their economy. There is also some potential news that Moderna could sell or give them the vaccine, which would be a plus. But there's two sides of that. You know, if all of a sudden all of China gets vaccinated and then everybody goes out and starts spending, you know, that pushes up demand, and that is not great for inflation. So it'll be interesting to see the way it works out. But all in all, if you look here, okay, I would say, you know, draw a little line here. Let's get rid of this. You know, if you want to draw a line in the SPYs, you know, you could probably draw it sort of like this, right? So this is a very important, you know, a little ascending channel here. You have 362, 371, 388, 391. If this line were to break with authority, okay, I would think the retest of the lows that everybody's talking about is going to happen sooner than later. Okay, a lot of people have been saying it for a while. You know, you could say it. How do you react to it? How do you react every day? That's the key. You know, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up days, big gap down. So this gap now is in control of the tape. This wide range bar with the gap also should give you a directional move like that Jackson Hole. But we have the Fed next week. So what's the Fed going to do? 75 basis points a point. How's the market going to react? So if one thing I'm doing, because I'm not a great short, is I'm into yesterday's move, I started buying some 388 puts for next Wednesday, just in case it breaks before the Fed, and for Friday, so just in case it breaks after. So Wednesday and Friday, I bought some 388 puts, because if that breaks, I would think we see 380 pretty fast. Okay, and then who knows more. If we don't break, you know what? I'll see things acting well. I'll play some stocks and I'll trade, and who knows? Maybe it won't happen. But that's what I'm kind of doing. Today is Thursday for next week, just in case we get continuation to this move and we roll over. So yesterday I tried to show you some resistance where maybe we could bounce to, and we never even reached it. So for now, what's this little low here? This low here is 391.12. So that was yesterday's low, so we have to fix this. 391.12. It'll let me. Come on. 391.12. I like to be precise. Yesterday there was a small little trade opportunity when we went down to retest the prior low and came off it. I gave you guys 3 different looks. Remember, I gave you the micro look. Yes, some people do trade the micro. Okay, this is your big gap down. I said if we get back into resistance here, that's where maybe you could fade a bounce if we try and bounce. And this was your little first red dog reversal, which gave you a nice little micro trade. I don't care what you say out there. That was a nice little trade. And then there are some things that there are definitely some divergences. Yesterday, I think what scared the shorts or the sellers was how strong Tesla was. It was unbelievable how strong Tesla was yesterday. I didn't play it. I didn't really think it was going to happen. And if you look at Tesla now, if we don't, if we don't break 3,900 and all of a sudden this market for some reason wants to find its footing, this Tesla is above the moving averages and acting very well, and there's a whole void above. Tesla actually, if you look here, filled the gap, okay, which you don't see a lot of stocks. It filled the gap. Tesla filled the gap from Tuesday. Okay, so this is acting very strong. For what reason? Maybe it's being included in the alternative energy camp, because a lot of the solar stocks and a lot of those type of names are acting better compared to some others. If you look where we are in the range here, that's Tesla. If you look at Apple, it's a different story. Apple had a little bit of a doji. This was your push up in Apple, and if you remember, we made a lot of money buying Apple in here, but having a little bit, we got stopped out at 159.30. So I think Apple is going to be one of the clues, because if this market's going to want to break 3,900 and head back towards those lows, Apple is going to have to break and close below this area. Okay, so this is a very big area right here. This 152 to 153. If that were to break, I doubt this holds. Okay, you're going to probably see more of a move like this. So how fast, if Apple stays below 157.10, builds a bear flag here, and then breaks that spot, that would probably add some fuel to the downside for the market, because that Apple obviously has a big weighting in the S&P and the Q. So if Apple doesn't break this and goes sideways and repairs, chances are the market's not going that much lower. So we'll have to see. I don't really see many names acting special in tech. You have Meta already making new move lows. You have Google looks very, very vulnerable. Some people are short Google. Nvidia and AMD, haven't been special whatsoever. I don't care, whose dog is named Nvidia. Tesla buying signed the charging station thing yesterday. That's true. Snow's been super strong. That's true. This Rivion's been pretty cool. I've been long, Rivian for a while. It seems like if Tesla continues, maybe this gets above 40, 50, but I've been in it for a while. Some guys are doing very well in ENPH. ENPH, remember I showed you guys this the other day. Said as long as it holds 293, it could help lead the solar sector. If you look at TAN, which is the ETF for the solar sector, looks pretty set up here. Okay, some guys are long verse 84.50, and if it could start taking out this area, that ETF is acting well. Roblox, I don't know what's Roblox doing. It's hanging out, It's got a little bit of a bull flag, I guess you could say. Last time we played this, it broke this little trend line. So you could say as long as RBLX holds this spot here, there's a chance that it clears this. Believe it or not, there are some high growth names that are looking better. Plug is looking better. I hate to say it, but nice pattern here, right? Look at that hold, okay? A gap up after earnings and then trended and then consolidated. So, you could be long versus 28, and if it gets above 30, maybe Plug or some of those are doing well. Yeah, right now it's a bit of a stock pickers market. It's always a stock pickers market, but usually if the market's that weak, nothing really goes higher, But if we're not going to break, there are things that'll outperform. So it's your job as a trader to find those things that you can make money with. Yesterday we made money with STEM. Look at that, nice little chart pattern. You had a quick move up, held in there when all of a sudden the market was under pressure on Tuesday, and then yesterday cleared 1698. Not so bad. So there are some things that are working out in certain sectors. Energy, I guess, is a little bit better than other sectors. But all in all, which is a big if, everyone's talking about breaking 3,900 and seeing 38 or 37, everything's not going to be easy to go up. But that's a big if. ENVX, let's see, ENVX. I've heard that name. Yeah, that looks good too. Nice little igniting bar yesterday. Some guys are long versus this gap, and seems like if we could take this spot out, it can continue. It's been really strong? Uber. Look at that. Uber I sold into Monday. After 4 days, I thought I was really good, and I sold it, and I never bought it back on Tuesday's big decline, and now it looks like it's ready to take out that spot. So Uber is pretty good. So there are some things out there. EQT, I haven't really looked at that. Yeah. Last time we looked at that was over here, and then it crashed. Yeah, I would say looks decent, above the moving averages, acting well. It was really good. What was that other energy name that everybody was talking about? PayPal was looking a little bit better, kind of rebuilding, flagging. This looks better. This looks like it didn't fall apart. You broke this descending trend line, made a little peak, held in there. So if the S&P doesn't fall apart, there are some names that you could massage and they feel like they're better, but when they break, you just better be on your toes. Red Dog, thoughts on these railroad headlines? Could it be the news? No, why would that be news to send us lower? I thought, the railroads working again are good. But at this point, we'll see. You have the SPYs down $1. Okay, so we're a little bit weaker. Okay. What I would say, look for, again, this 391.12. If we break and close below that, you have 390, and then you have 388. If you do break this ascending little trend line here, it could trigger prices to the downside. We'll see. They made a tentative agreement. Okay. I don't really trade the railroad names, and I don't really look, but we'll see. We'll see. Some guys like Red Dog, what are you going to do with your intermediate account for your wife, the Blood on the Street account? I'm doing a whole lot of nothing there. Okay, I already put one tier back to work. I've netted her 12% this year, 12% in S&P funds for her retirement account. So not so shabby. And I gave you guys every single move that I did, trying to help you guys also, because that's what I do. Red Dog tries to help everybody. So anyway, this is what the intermediate trend looks like, though. Okay, I posted this with language, so let's go like this. Actually, you don't need the language. So here's the intermediate trend. So this is going to be interesting, right? You have a pretty big wedge right here. Okay, after a Head and Shoulders top bounce back, a push through, squeeze the shorts the last rally. Again, so right here you could see it even more clear that if we do break this little area, that would break this wedge to the downside. If we hold, hey, who knows, maybe we build and then we have to test the upper end. But I'm just saying, if this 38.86-ish area breaks, this is 38.10. You can put that over here. This is 37.38, and this is 36.36. So I've already put a tier back to work for her at 39.65. She has 2 more tiers, and I'm not putting any more money to work in her immediate cash account that I can't put monthly flows in until maybe 38.10, which I think would be even too close, or it depends how fast it happens, but I'd rather do it somewhere around here. I did put her back to cash into that big move into the August high at 42.70, timed that pretty damn well. But anyway, with that being said, we'll see what happens here. Does this hold here or does this break? And if it's going to break, I would think it's going to break next week, not today or tomorrow, but we shall see. Either which way, be on your toes. There are things to do. It's been a very long 9 months of this action, maybe even 18 months. Stay the course, keep your brain focused, know what the market's looking at, know what you can handle, know what time frame you're navigating, and just stay the course with crypto. Some people are like, Red Dog, the Ethereum merge happened. Like, okay. You look at the chart of Bitcoin, and it's like, oh, what are we doing here? Bitcoin gave us lots of ways to make a lot of money in the past 2 years. At this point, it tried to get above this 21.5 and failed. Just be careful here again that if all of a sudden we do break 38.86, and if Bitcoin breaks 19.5, you have 17.6, and then you have this big area underneath it, which could be the spot. So just know that this is a big risk asset. It's not an inflation hedge. It's not a hedge against the end of the world. It's just another risk asset that at some point maybe turns up again. But for right now, this was the awesome trend that a lot of us made a lot of money on. This was your false breakout to get to 75% cash. This was your confirmation of the weakness in crypto. Then you had a bit of an oversold bounce, right? And remember this 25K? Well, look where it bounced back to, hey, 25K. Old support turns into resistance, and now couldn't even get into this quadrant. Okay, so we'll see if, what happens next. Maybe it gives some clues, maybe it doesn't. But all in all, be on your toes. How many positions are you in this morning? I'm in a bunch, but I also have a SPY hedge on. Here it is. I have a bunch of one-off things. I have a little DraftKings. I bought a little FCell yesterday. I've been in a little LAZR. I have no real market stocks because the market stock's kind of horrible. I bought some SPY puts. I bought 2 different sets, like I said. I sold some SPY calls. The 399s yesterday. I created one little put spread too. So I really don't have a whole lot happening here. So at this point, I'm going to navigate today. We'll see if we try and hold up for another day or so, and then we'll see what happens next into next week. Listen, just there's a big open house going on in Alpha Team. We've had over another 1,000 people checking in for the week. It hasn't been an easy week. Everyone's like, Red Dog, I thought you'd kill it and you write all the time. I'm like, anyone who tells you they're right every second of the day is not a real trader. I just try and manage my risk. I tried to have low risk into the CPI with the overhedge, and it still was hard to make a lot of money after riding that active sequence. Yesterday we did navigate. It was real choppy. So I'm just trying to show them how, in realistic terms, guys that trade for a living prepare themselves, which is getting up every day, which is also doing all the sectors with multiple plans, and then the key stocks, and then one-off stocks, and a little bit of crypto. And you do that every day, and you do it in a routine that you like and you can handle by listening to music and having your iced coffee, having your green drink, taking off midday. It can be done. I've been doing it for 22 years, and every year is different. This has been a tricky year. It hasn't been great. They're not giving away money. There's been money out there, but again, it's not like 2020. No, every year is different, has a different flavor. So you just have to evolve, and the way to evolve is by just preparing. Preparation is key. It's not about if you went to Harvard or Yale or Princeton or Albany. It's about what kind of work do you put in, how do you prepare yourself, and then how do you execute feeling in the moment enough to see things, and that's all things you have to know for yourself. So with that said, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see what today brings.